good evening, people of WyoNation. Welcome to another edition of the WyoNation Roundup. I am your host, Chad Smith. Very happy to be here yet again tonight. Joining me, as always, Mr. Shea Foster.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Then on the bottom here, probably the most excited man in the state of Wyoming, as it is his favorite month of the year. It's March, Bryan.
Yes, getting ready for Mountain West Madness next week.
Oh, is your wife ready for March Madness?
Not quite, no.
Do you fill out her work bracket for her to try to win money?
Oh, I don't know if she even does a bracket. She could not care less about basketball.
Okay, I know, but money maybe. Maybe you can fill out the bracket, win some money. That's how I'm trying to help you out here. Pay some bills.
She's a very busy person, so she probably doesn't care about the bracket at all.
I'm sure. So, yes. So Mountain West Madness is here, even though we will be spending a lot of this or some of the show talking about wrestling, and they are not in the Mountain West. So Big 12/Mountain West Madness is here.
Perfect.
So a lot to get to. Great to see everybody. And it's been, I'd say, a pretty darn good week for Wyoming athletics. We'll start with you, Bryan. We talked last week about the schedule, how it's set up well for Wyoming to close out the regular season on an uptick, and they have done just that.
Yeah, they dropped a disappointing one in Boise, but they've done really well down the stretch here. That game against Nevada, they absolutely dominated in the first half. Caden Bennett has been on fire this last month. The nice part about it is Leland Walker's been pretty quiet the last few weeks. We all know he's the leader on the floor. He's absolutely the best player on the team. But even though he's been quiet, he's been playing good defense. He's been, throwing out a lot of assists. And Caden Bennett, Nas Meyer, Demarion Dennis, those guys have stepped up and really, really done a hell of a good job. Bennett in particular has been a sniper. Demarion Dennis, I don't know where he gets all the energy, man. That guy is 100 miles an hour, foot on the floor at all times. And then we've got a lot of really good role players too. You've got guys like Adam Harrico that comes in, and he's a crazy man like Demarion Dennis is, but he's aggressive. He's got good defensive presence. Gavin Gores is back, and Sonny said a few weeks ago, that we're not sure if we're peaking yet. I haven't seen this lineup with Gavin, and now that we have, it's pretty exciting. I mean, Gores has a broken hand, and he's still throwing down multiple times a game. So, it's been a hell of a lot of fun down the stretch here. We've got one more game left against San Jose State on Saturday. Wyoming is pretty much guaranteed the 8 slot. Looking at the standings or the 9 slot. Sorry, looking at the standings right now. Likely end up 9-11 in conference, which is a big improvement over last year.
Yeah,
and we will be facing the 7 seed, which is right now a 3-way tie between Boise, Nevada, and UNLV. So things still have a lot of shaking out to do. Sunday will be the last game of the season, and then keep an eye out on our channel on Monday. I will be gathering up podcasters from every team in the conference, or at least all of them that I can get a hold of, and we're going to do a Mountain West Madness preview show. So stay tuned for that. We'll have more information on the time, looking like about 7:30 Mountain at this point. But stay tuned to the WyoNation socials, and we'll keep you up to date.
Hey, Bryan, is the team going to go from San Jose directly to Vegas, you think, to get settled in? Or are they going to make that weird travel back to Vegas? I feel like that's going to kill some legs if they come all the way back to Laramie.
I'm not sure. There's a press conference tomorrow. I'll be sure to ask about that.
Good question.
It's a good question, though. I mean, they're going to be in San Jose already. You might as well just cruise on over to Vegas. They're going to be playing on Wednesday, almost assuredly.
Yeah.
In fact, that 8-9 game is the first game on Wednesday. Looking at the schedule, it is 12 p.m. Pacific. It'll be 8 versus 9 on the Mountain West Network. So that's where Wyoming looks to be ending up in the tournament. But Sonny said a few weeks ago he let everybody in the press conference know. He had 3 goals coming in. First one was survive the first year. They did pretty okay last year, considering the circumstances. Number 2 was improved this year. I can say without a doubt they've improved. They have a winning record. They're not going to quite get over the hump on the winning record on the conference season, but they're really close, assuming they win the San Jose State game. And then next year, he's really talking about he wants to win championships. So hopefully we can make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, keep the guys around. That I mean, you only lost 3, maybe 4. I guess that the Harris stuff. So you got a good core.
Yeah, Jared Harris is looking at a medical red shirt from what we understand. He's close to the number of games.
Chad, we dropped out.
Yeah, I'm
dropped
here.
us out.
Something happened to the internet, boys and girls. We're all good. Something popped.
Comcast. Somebody pay his bill, boys.
And that's what he gets for living in Colorado.
No, he's frozen on screen, so hopefully he's not going to drop out again.
But anyway, getting back to it, Jared Harris is looking like he's probably going to take a medical red shirt. He's close to the number of games that he was able to play well before taking that. But even if he's over, they're probably going to put in a waiver on him to make sure he can come back. And then they've got to keep at least one of Gores and Meyer, hopefully both. And then, the rest of the team, I really think there's a good chance that you're going to see guys like Demarion Dennis and Adam Harricow and Caden Bennett. Like those guys are going to be back. That core is going to be back. Abu Magasa, Neil Summers will have a bigger role next year.
I saw Neil when I was in Laramie at the game. He still needs to hit the weight room a little bit and probably drop some lbs. He would be perfect 20 years ago as a big man. I don't think that body type's not in the NCAA right now. Yeah,
and from what Sonny's told us, Jimmy Edel is really hard on these guys when it's not in the season. Like he's really pushing them. Look no further than what happened to Mattia Belic and Abu Magasa over the summer this last year. Yeah. Like if these guys stick around and Shaft J3 here has got the right idea, this is a proof of concept for Sonny. It works. What he's doing is working. We need some birthdays. That's really what it's about with this team. We've got guys that are jumping up. You're coming from Quinnipiac and Texas A&M Corpus Christi, Florida Atlantic for Leland Walker, like D2 schools for guys like Adam Harricow. It's a big jump for a lot of these guys. Now they've been in the Mountain West for a year. Yeah. So it's going to be really exciting to see what happens when they come back next year.
I saw the leading D2 scorers in the portal. I wonder if Wyoming goes after him. He's out of Western Colorado, so I mean,
possibly. I know they've got 2 guys coming in. They've got Madison Smiley, and they've got the guy's name is slipping my mind right now, but they got another guy from the Gavin Gores AAU program in Wisconsin. Yeah. He's another he's a 6'7" swing man. So those are the 2 commits they've got right now. We know that they're going to have a couple more open scholarships. So we'll see where it goes. If I was a betting man, I'd say they want to get some more size.
Yeah.
But it's tough to get size in the portal. Big men that are capable of playing at the Mountain West level are expensive. And,
we don't have a
hopefully we've got more NIL coverage this year. And that's really what the staff has been banking on, is that we've got the money to, number 1, keep these guys around, and number 2, be able to pursue some of these guys that maybe we didn't have a chance at last year because we didn't have the funds.
Yeah, I didn't ask Coach Brands this, and maybe it does play in some of these smaller schools where you can get a guy, I don't know, what is the round number, right? Like, say Ike. He got a lot of money, but say he only got $500K from Gonzaga. But if he would have had a better relationship with Linder, would you kept him around for $200K? Like, if our relationship's still mattering in this day and age. So
that's another thing I can bring up to Sonny too. When we're talking about, we're going to be talking a lot about the tournament in the press conference tomorrow. But we can talk about, when you're talking about retention, how much do relationships matter? Like if there's a guy like Naz Meyer that's getting offered $250,000 and you can offer him $100,000, is the relationship enough to overcome that gap? Those are the kind of questions that we need answered. And Sonny's very transparent about this kind of stuff. So it'll be awesome to see, what he has to say about that. And obviously he can't, tell us how the sausage is made or give away too many secrets, but he's been pretty open about talking about this stuff.
I mean, you have to be, especially in Wyoming. I don't think anybody liked the fact that they dropped the FERPA stuff to hide behind the NIL numbers. For a student athlete these days, I think that's kind of a stretch where people still want some transparency of where it's going. Just my take, especially in a state like Wyoming, as we just saw with the legislature fight. Like, hang on.
Luckily, the legislature restored all the funds to UW. They've got a mandate that they have to find $5 million worth of cuts.
I think that's gonna be pretty easy, judging they have 5,000 employees on the payroll.
Yeah, I would imagine cuts are going to be able to be found. And they restored the $6 million towards the NIL funding. That's going to go a long ways at a school like Wyoming.
That one that was for that rev share. I think those are two different things. I'm so confused by this anymore. Like, is it rev share? Is it NIL?
The rev share is basically the NIL that the university can pay to the athletes.
Okay. So at least better controls than some random guy just handing a bag of money on the side of the street to these athletes.
Exactly. And it's been, we've all talked before about these guys have been getting paid forever. Now it's just out in the open. But it also the new structure allows these schools like your Wyomings of the world to compete. Because before, when you've got guys like Craig Bull and Larry Shea at the head of programs, they're playing by the rules, man. They're not handing people bags of money under the table. Now that it's allowed, and we've got guys like Jay Sawville and Sundance Wicks and Mark Branch that are there and they want to win and they're donating money back to the university so that this revenue sharing can get off the ground. They believe in what they're doing and they're putting their money where their mouth is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Heather donated back to the women's team even after they've had a rough year, but still 4 seniors, sad to see go. So hopefully maybe the transfer portal and some NIL money helps her reload that program as well. Because there's not a lot of continuity there.
It was tough for the women's team this year. They lost something like 85% of their scoring from last year. You don't lose a player like Allison Fertig, who is a 4-time first team All Mountain West player, and expect that you're going to rebound from that. Like it's tough. There's less parity in women's basketball because if you can get a skilled post player that's 6'4" or above in women's ball, they can dominate.
Yeah, and she was just good.
Yeah, she was a great thrower on the track team too. That girl was a hell of an athlete, and I haven't been keeping up on what she's doing, but hopefully she's doing well.
Yeah, maybe Douglas will feed another. The Douglas program is pretty dominant, so maybe they'll feed some more talent to Wyoming.
You got to figure there's some girls in Laramie that are doing well too. I'm not reffing this year, so I haven't really seen a lot of the high school girls basketball around the state, but there's talent. Wyoming is a state where basketball can be king if people can get behind it. And back when you and Chad and I were in school, we were squarely behind the basketball team, and the crowds were great. I think that the basketball team has been mediocre for long enough that the fan base is a little apathetic, and they're starting to come back. There were 4,400 people at that Nevada game.
That's good. That's a good crowd for a weeknight and weather.
Yeah. And that's the Saturday game against who was the Air Force game. There were a ton of people at that one too. I went to that one. It was a good time. Air Force has got a pretty decent team, even though they are in contention for the worst team in college basketball this year.
Well, they've had a lot of. I read that their coach right now is an Air Force officer because the way they fire coaches or hire coaches, it's an active duty Air Force officer as their head coach right now. So. Yeah,
and they played a lot different than they did under Joe Scott. They were pressing, they were trying to get shots up a little quicker, but Air Force is 3-27. Currently, they are the second to worst team behind Mississippi Valley State and Gardner Webb, who are both 3-28. Air Force still has one regular season game to go, and then they're going to get their lunch eaten by Boise, Nevada, UNLV, one of those teams, and then or possibly Grand Canyon, depending on how things shake out. But I don't. It's tough to be Air Force. They've got some good players on the team, but the chances of them being the worst team in college basketball this year are not low, unfortunately.
Well, they'll be okay. So I mean, that's exciting. San Jose State's always a hard place to play for Wyoming. For whatever reason, they always crap their uniforms in San Jose randomly. So
yeah, luckily, Wyoming over the last few weeks, we saw it all year long where, they come out really, really great in the first half on the road, and then things would fall apart in the second half. They've shored that up. They've done a good job of, making sure that while they're playing, while they're on the road, they're playing hard. They're doing a really good job of making sure that it doesn't slip away in the second half. Now, there's still issues. Like we saw against Nevada that they came out smoking out of the gate. Like I think at one time they were like 10 for 10 shooting, and 7 of those were from behind the stripe. It was ridiculous. And you can't keep that up, but they still shot 63% for the game.
Yeah.
Now they did let Nevada creep back in. Nevada started doing the things that they needed to do, but they've done a really good job.
Yeah.
Hello, boys.
Well, you're finally back.
Yes. Can you see me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what happened. Something bombed in my computer, like killed my webcam. But I heard you guys the whole time. I was trying to get back on, and I was troubleshooting the webcam. Somehow the webcam was being engaged by another program. I think it just got locked up by the software we use. So good conversation there.
Yeah. Well, glad to have you back.
Yeah. Me too. So so basketball, good basketball talk there, both men's and women's. But we have another tournament, Shea, that is fastly approaching, starting on Friday, I do believe. Give people the lowdown on what will be happening in Oklahoma.
I know, in Tulsa, this is where they're going to keep the Big 12 tournament, I think, forever. So don't think this is going to be a rotational thing like the Pac-12 does. But Friday starting. I've seen multiple times here, so I'm pretty sure it's 9 a.m. Mountain Time. ESPN Plus is where the tournament starts, and it's on ESPN Plus. Brackets will be on Flow Wrestling, so you can follow along on there. I'll probably try to do a write-up each day just to kind of give the highlights. Wyoming didn't allocate. They do NCAA allocations based on rankings. We expect 5 guys in 125 or up to 8 guys in 133. Wyoming only allocated 4 guys, so it's going to be like guys like Gabe and Jared and Davis and Swan will all have to probably place, like 165 is only allocating 4 guys, so Swan's going to have to place in the top 4 to go to NCAAs. And he's coming in as the 8th seed. Now, last year you had the Sam Mitchell story. He came as the 8th seed at heavyweight, up from 197 and takes 4th. So I think it's possible guys get hot. Maybe they're healthy. They haven't wrestled for 3 weeks. So as long as the nerves aren't there, I think the boys would be good. And it still cracks me up that nobody has picked Carroll, Nightenbach, or Joey to win the Big 12. It's Iowa State or Oklahoma State wrestlers. And that just baffles me that guys are that nobody has still respect for Wyoming and those wrestlers.
So Christian Carroll's been flat out dominant in portions of this season. Like he's lost a couple of tough ones, but my God, that guy's been a monster at heavyweight this year.
Well, you take Younger, but he lost the number 1 guy in the nation 5-3. So I don't know. I'm a little baffled. Yeah, I'm even baffled that Gabe didn't get This is what made me so upset. Northern Iowa's 149, who didn't even wrestle enough matches to get an RPI, is seated above Gabe, and Gabe tech-falled the number 3 seed. So I don't know what formula the coaches and the administration use, or maybe some coach out there has it out for Gabe. I don't know. It's very I'm sure it's frustrating to Coach Branch, but they don't. The Big Ten, I think the ACC can challenge their seeds, and I don't think the Big 12 does that anymore. So when the brackets came out, that's what you get, baby. This is what we're going with. So
Yeah.
So interestingly enough, Gabe Willichell's got that 8 seed, but he gets a first round bye. Whereas the number 1 seed does not.
So that's randomized. So they did that for the point, so teams wouldn't be like Oklahoma State has like 7 1 seeds. If they all got buys, then they all get the points for it. So they randomized it to. And I like his matchup on Swiderski. So, I mean, we'll see if the boys are loose and just kind of wrestle how we've seen them wrestle. Then, I mean, we'll see the boys go. So.
Let's see here. We got looks like a wrestling note here from Luke. Welcome on in, Luke.
Yeah.
I like Jeff's comment here. Is the Big 12 going to figure out a way to make the full LED mats like their basketball tournament court?
I can't wait till somebody hacks that. I can't wait till somebody hacks the Big 12 court.
That'd be awesome. Because I was watching a reel on it today, and they were showing how they could make everything work. I also saw another thing that said they don't have center court stripes on a lot of these designs, which is like, again, I'm a basketball official. That's a big problem.
That's going to be an issue.
We'll just have to put a duct tape strip over the LED.
There we go.
Like, here we go, boys.
Duct tape.
Here we go. Yeah, I don't. Wyoming right now with their seeds are slated to finish 5th, just based on seeding. And last year they finished 10th, and they wrestled like ass last year in the Big 12. So, I mean, we'll see kind of how guys do. And my expectation is guys that shouldn't qualify will qualify, and that the top 3 are on. Put probably the Big 12 and NCAA on notice. So I know it's going to be tough where a lot of these guys are going to run to Oklahoma State guys, and that's Oklahoma State territory. So just can't listen to it. Wrestle 7 minutes and just see how it plays out.
Yeah. And so they'll run Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Just Friday, Saturday.
Friday, Saturday. Okay. So
and
2 days.
And NCAA's run not next week, the week after, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
And then is Sunday the selection show then for wrestling, or is it Monday? I can't remember.
No, they do it randomly. I think it's like middle of the week type of thing. Because I think there's still stuff going on Sunday, and they're not like basketball, like, oh, this game ends, we're getting the brackets in 30 minutes. Yeah, because they have at large. Each weight class has 4 or 5 at larges, so they have to figure that out. So,
okay. Yeah, so we'll keep you updated.
I do agree with what Luke Fletcher was saying about, there's a legitimate opportunity for Wyoming to win the Big 12 next year. Can you talk about the depth and how that's looking for next year, Shea?
Yeah, I don't. I think you're always sad to see guys like Gabe and Jared leave, and I don't think Wyoming's can probably hit the, knock on wood, the transfer portal. You got Isaiah Harrison coming back at 125 as a red shirt to press, whether it's him or Sefton. Sefton's been hurt this year, so he's been wrestling a little timid, but I think those 3 weeks got him healthy. Wyoming's going to be dominant. You have Cole Brooks coming back at 149. He was an NCAA qualifier. You have Antonio Avila probably going to be at 157, and then everybody else returns. So you're only going to break in, really, I know Antonio's had spot starts, so 141 next year is probably your only thing. And the kids coming in, there's like 3 high school state champions coming in at 141 next year. So it's going to be a bloodbath at 141, I think, who gets the start, which is good because that means those guys are going to press each other. So if one guy's struggling, they're going to steamroll. And Oklahoma State's always going to reload because they're backed by a billionaire. So they're just throwing NIL. Yeah, they're throwing NIL funds like it's going out of style. But Iowa State loses a lot, and I don't like to see kids transfer and fail, but if you look at Iowa, they've done absolutely horrible with the transfer portal and getting guys in, minus Buchanan, which I think he would have won a national title at Wyoming. And Michigan, who they've been living on these transfers, and these guys transfer there and they go down. So I think that maybe helps Wyoming causes a little bit. And now Wyoming's rev sharing where Oklahoma is not. So now you have that above Oklahoma. And that wrestling facility, I think it's just going to play huge that they have more room. They have their own weight room to really really train. And I just think the coaches are probably in a more relaxed spot than they had been in the past. Like, or they were so jacked up and you could see teams struggle in the postseason that we haven't seen that as much. So, I mean, I know they're in Tulsa now, so they're probably getting relaxed and settled in and probably do some wrestling tomorrow. And then Friday, just get into it.
Now, Shea, there's some more smoke you were talking about too on conference affiliations. You want to dive into that?
Yeah, there was, this is all rumors, that Willie Saylor, who's a really big wrestling guy in the wrestling world, covers it exclusively. He had mentioned at the end of his show yesterday that they were going to talk about maybe some Big 12 teams possibly leaving to go into the Pac-12. I don't think that's... Branch has said always in the past, I want to stay in the Big 12. It's a recruiting thing. My only concern is they're an affiliate member. So is the Big 12 pushing out affiliate schools because there's some kind of contract that's over? Or schools like Utah Valley, like, hey, we're just going to go to the Pac-12 because travel's easier and stuff like that. So I don't... Because they're really on an island. Like, we can say Laramie's on an island, but we have Northern Colorado and Air Force. So teams could come in and get 3 duels. Like, boom, 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 if they wanted to. Where Utah Valley... North Dakota State wrestled Utah Valley and had to drive all the way across the state of Wyoming the next day and then wrestle in Laramie. So I think a team or two will leave the Big 12. The nature of the beast. I don't know what teams that are. Now there's other rumors out there that it's going to be all the affiliate members minus Oklahoma and Missouri that leave to the Pac-12. I don't foresee that unless the Big 12 is pushing them out, unless Oklahoma State's like, hey, we're good. We're just going to push all these schools out because you don't bring anything to the table. So
Shea, what's keeping the Mountain West from sponsoring wrestling? Especially when you look at the teams that are currently in the Big 12 with Wyoming, there's a significant number of Mountain West schools that are the ones that are sponsoring wrestling. What's keeping them from offering it rather than Pac-12?
Money. It's all money.
Yeah.
So Mountain West sponsors baseball, which is rare. They sponsor even softball, which is also extremely rare. But I don't know. Even if you would go back to the Western Wrestling Conference back in the day.
WWC.
And it was, which was awful.
Yeah.
Just absolutely awful. It was so bad that Northern Iowa left and went and wrestled in the MAC. So... there's another up-and-coming program that I think has got a conference affiliation they won't release. It's Tarleton State out of Texas. So they're going to be D1 hopefully this spring. So I don't know. Do they go Big 12? Do they go? My guess they go Pac. I hate to see Cal Baptist lose their program, especially as their deputy AD is such a douche, if you guys watch that video. But Cal Baptist was really struggling in the Big 12. So... I mean, there's not enough. It's only Air Force and Wyoming and the Mountain West that do wrestling. So now Colorado State was cowards in 1985 and dropped their program. So
Fresno used to sponsor, right? But I think they dropped theirs a year or two back.
They sponsored, dropped their program, brought it back, and then dropped their program again. So or you could be like Boise and start baseball, then your team plays 17 games and you drop baseball also.
Yeah. So, Shafe, that money, they're not going to see it anytime soon because it's tied up in court. So,
yeah.
And the Mountain West is going to need every dollar they can to stabilize. And I think they will. They've shown they will. They have. And I think, right, we added North Dakota State, as we talked about last week, to the conference. They may come in all sports eventually. UC Davis is probably going to come aboard. Or in football would be my guess. And then there's talks of more teams being added. So the Mountain West is being proactive. So I think, right, they're looking to expand. So I don't think adding sports right now is probably on the radar.
Yeah, got it.
When we all know that, right, it's football and men's basketball that drive the ship.
And Olympic sports are really tough to make money off of. Like
You don't make it. Yes.
Yeah.
Like the Big 12's done well because of the teams that they have in there. The Big 12, the Big 10, they've got really good wrestling squads in there, and they are able to make some revenue off of that. Like look at Wyoming building this new wrestling facility because they've got a successful squad in the Big 12. But launching that from scratch, even with teams that are currently in the Big 12, that's tough, man.
Yeah, they're never gonna. It should. I mean, I'm sure wrestling doesn't break even at Wyoming. Just
No, sure not. Yeah.
call it what it is. But I don't. Iowa spends like a team like Iowa spends like $3.5 million a year on wrestling, and the return is $1 million. So, I think Wyoming is probably spends $1.5 million on wrestling, and I don't think there is a ton of negative, but there's negative to it.
Yeah, and so I've been told that when the details of the media deal come out, we're all going to be happy. So
I've seen Luke Fletcher's been posting on the board some of what he's heard on the media deal, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty significant increase. We'll see when the official numbers come out, but it's not looking dire by any means. It's a team like Wyoming. From his estimations, we're going to go from making about $3.5 million a year to about $6 million a year on media rights. So that's a pretty big jump. Let's hope that's the way things go.
Did you guys see the pack? Like the initial pack? Oregon State's screwed, and Wazoo they're screwed.
Yeah.
They cannot survive on that media deal. They couldn't survive on the Pac-12 media deal. You think they're going to survive on this?
That's what happens when you're completely irresponsible with your money.
Now, speaking of money to sports, we talked last week about there's going to be jersey sponsors, which apparently is coming out real soon. That has to go in front of the board of trustees, as Cody Tucker reported. There's also going to be naming rights for the field at War Memorial. Apparently, we're not willing to let it be, Shea Foster.
Hell yeah.
War Memorial Stadium.
Hell yeah.
They are looking for naming rights for the AA. If I had the money to do so, I would call it the Kenny Sailors Dome of Doom, but that's just me. What do you think there's an opportunity for the new wrestling facility to have a sponsor on it?
Maybe. I don't. You're kind of getting a sponsor at that point that knows they're not going to get any return. So, like, if you're going to sponsor the AA, you're going to get return on TV. Nobody's watching. Well, now Wyoming's done well in that they give their home duels for free on the Mountain West Network. So, which is great. That's probably why we'll never see Wyoming Wrestling on ESPN Plus is a home thing. So, I don't know. I think you could, but just knowing the fact that donor would be like, well, I'm not getting a return on this, where a sponsor of the AA is going to probably get return in some form or fashion. So
it would be for both.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's about money. It's all about for everything, right? It gives you extra coffers. So any money you get in, that can go towards the rev share. And so.
I mean,
we have another comment in the chat too about the NIL money and comparing it to Montana and Montana State. Those numbers have been proven false over and over and over again.
Hogwash.
Montana and Montana State have both come out and said we're lucky to spend $400,000.
Yeah.
So wherever that report came from, it's been verified false by members of both administrations in both of those schools.
Yeah. Luke, if you want to hear some true numbers, Stephen Buchanan made $500,000 to wrestle for a semester at Iowa. That's what Wyoming Wrestling's up against. So, $500,000 he wrestled a semester and won a national title. And Iowa Wrestling's backed by a billionaire grocery store tycoon guy. So
nice.
That's if you want Wyoming Wrestling to be like Oklahoma State, then they need billionaires to sponsor them and pay.
Our billionaires don't care about sports, so unfortunately.
They don't. Well, we need TikTok boy the guy that was going to buy TikTok to care about sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's running for Congress. We'll see what happens.
Well, I'll nuke his campaign, so he has to sponsor Wyoming sports.
All right, little bonus content. I didn't tell these guys we were going to do this, but I think we should. The university dropped this, I do believe, either like a Friday night, like a news dump, or it was like a Saturday morning. And so it doesn't get the respect that it deserves. So let me just throw it up here, boys. How about your brand new class of 2026 for the University of Wyoming Athletics Hall of Fame?
That's a good class.
A pretty dang good list here.
They announced this at the halftime of the Air Force game I was at on Saturday, and everybody was there. They didn't have the whole 96 Cowboys football team there, obviously, but they had plenty of representatives. Nice. Greg Sawyer couldn't make it. Ron Whitman was there. Chris Brzezinski was there. Hillary Carlson was there. Josh Adams was there. Like, this is a great class. I will, until somebody else comes along, I will take it to my grave that Josh Adams is the best athlete I've ever seen on the court for Wyoming. The guy was absolutely insane. And he was on the court with Derek Cook, who's another just crazy athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's go through these really quick for people who are listening to this on audio podcast form who can't see this lovely graphic. Yeah, it looks like this is an alphabetical order. So again, Josh Adams, men's basketball, 2013 to 2016. As Bryan said, yeah, I mean, for a guy like pound for pound, you hear that in boxing, I'd say like pound for pound in Wyoming athletics, probably one of the best athletes ever. The guy was all over the place. He had major hops for a small guard and an attitude. The guy played with some sharpness and some.
Remember, he got suspended for too many technicals?
Yes.
That's my guy. It's my type of player.
Yeah. Any more thoughts on Adams, Bryan?
There's not much more to be said about Josh Adams. He was the tournament MVP in what was that 2016 that they won the tournaments.
Yeah.
Every time that guy touched the ball, you knew something crazy was going to happen. That double clutch jump he did against Kem Birch, who was the number 1 NBA draft pick that year in the Mountain West tournament, was insane. Look back to his high school tape. The whole reason he got recruited is because he was playing for Chaparral and he came from the freaking free throw line on a putback to win the state championship. Those kind of athletes are rare. And the fact that he came to Wyoming, he stuck around at Wyoming, we're glad to have him as a Cowboy for life, man. He's awesome.
That's right. Next up, women's basketball, 2008 to 2011, Hillary Carlson. She was good. I remember her being really good.
Yeah.
So she was part of the lone NCAA tournament team for the Cowgirls.
Mm-hmm.
I can't recall who they played, but it wasn't particularly close. But they did really well that year. She was on that NIT winning team, on the NCAA team. She was a big part of that success in that era of Wyoming women's basketball.
Mm-hmm. The next up is, I believe the guy's hasn't been in already. I was kind of surprised to see that he hasn't been in, but Dave Hampton, football, 1966 to 1968. He had like a 10-year NFL career. He played for like the Packers, I think the Falcons, and then maybe one other team. I know because I do all these lists. Hampton led the NFL in kick returns in one season back in the 70s, early 70s when he did that. So he was a running back and had a 10-year career in the NFL. So back when running backs got the crap hit out of them.
Yeah. We should bring that uniform combo back for a game too. I think that was the gold helmet days.
Yeah.
Those 60s uniforms are terrible, man.
I know. So bring it back, baby.
I wouldn't mind them in yellow. It'd look kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brown and gold. Yeah. So Dave Hampton. And then next, of course, someone that we all know, Chris Brzezinski getting in, which again, you talk about an athlete.
Yeah.
You talk about Wyoming being safety U for a while. Brzezinski jumped in right after John Wendling got drafted and then went in the 4th round himself, had a pretty decent NFL career. I believe he's back in Rock Springs these days. But yeah, he was a hell of a player for Wyoming. Multiple time all-conference selection. Really, really solid player.
Yeah.
A lot of interceptions.
Yes.
I didn't look up where he ranks on there.
That was some good defenses too. Those are the Bresky days.
It's a Chicago Bears legend. Says Shea. All right, another guy. Now, this was the guy who when I was, growing up, Greg Sawyer was
the man.
Mr. Hustle.
Yeah.
Mr. Hustle.
Sonny would love to have a Greg Sawyer on his team.
Yeah. And I think Sawyer's is he from Pine Bluff?
It's almost a crime that he was on Joby Wright teams, man. Like, he was good.
Wasn't he from Pine Bluffs?
Burns.
Burns. Okay, close. Yeah. So, and he also did, I forgot that they said this on here, but I remember now. Yeah. After basketball, he did track and field, and I forget what he did, but was pretty good in that as well.
Sounds like Jay Novacek. Jay Novacek, I still think, holds records at Wyoming from his football days. So, I don't know if Greg's still on the list. We'd have to look, but
yeah. So Greg Sawyer was a great player.
Clint, sorry about that. I got a basset hound. She's loud.
Yeah, he's running a dogfighting ring. I think.
I'm trying to stay on mute as much as I can.
All right, Shea, you're probably the only person who could know anything about Ron Whitman.
Yeah, he's the all-time leading. He leads like single season wins, like 44 one year. Also, fun fact, he was my science teacher.
Oh, what? So, okay, well, that's a pretty big thing.
So
you know the guy.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
It's always crazy because Wyoming had some really stout wrestling teams around that time. I mean, really good wrestling teams. You don't see a lot of them in the Hall of Fame. And you're like, man, there's some talented guys. I think Ron might be the all-time winningest, or close to it, or the most wins in a single season. I mean, that's unheard of these days, where guys are only getting like 25 matches. 44 wins in a season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's great to finally see him. I just feel like these basketball players. I love Josh Adams and Hillary Carls. Great talents. But you got a guy from the 80s who's just now getting in. So I feel like whoever does the Hall of Fame class needs to kind of look, and like Dave Hampton obviously is another guy that should have been in a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then of course, the team won, the 1996 Cowboy football team. I think nothing needs to be said about that.
What a team! What a coaching staff too.
Oh yeah, when you look at that now, who was on that staff? It's pretty wild. And then went 10-2 and didn't go to a bowl game.
Well, they were offered the Vegas Bowl, so they chose not to take it. So, it is what it is. The Vegas Bowl was still pretty new at the time, or like its first year. So Wyoming's like, we're better than that. And NCAA said, no, you're not.
Yeah.
So,
well, exactly. And it goes into but that's back when making a bowl actually meant something. I think if you look at the year, I think I counted it one time, there was only maybe 20 or 30 bowls back then.
Yeah.
Not even close, man. There were only 19 in 96 or 17, something like that. It was crazy low. And Wyoming going 10-2, not making a bowl game, was a crime. And it wasn't just Wyoming people that were calling it a crime. It was really bad. That was back when the Bowl Alliance was running the show.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. God. And then you had the BC. Such worthless people picking bowls.
So yeah. So that's why, right? You can't making a bowl these days. I mean, 5-win teams are making the bowls now. I mean, it's disgusting.
The pendulum has swung too far to one side. We need to get things back to the middle.
Well,
I think 25 bowls is probably plenty.
I think the LA Bowl and the Holiday Bowl are dropped. The Holiday Bowl doesn't have a sponsor.
Yeah, there's a lot of bowls. I think it's starting to swing. Yep, the bowls are going to start going away because with the playoff, right? There's no pizzazz anymore.
Shea, if I'm with you, I would love to see the Cowboys in the Pop-Tarts
Pop-Tarts
Bowl.
board. Let's go.
The Pop-Tarts Bowl and the Duke Mayo Bowl are doing things right, man. They've got their thing, they're sticking with it, and they are fun to watch.
The Frisco Bowl's in a dome. I think that would have been fun for Wyoming. It's in a small. It's like the Kibbe Dome style.
They moved it to. It's actually. I was making fun of this. We didn't talk about it, but it's actually being played at the Dallas Cowboys indoor practice facility.
Could you imagine Wyoming fans filling that place?
That's crazy, and it only seats like 9,000 people or something.
Yeah, Wyoming fans would sell it out. It'd be
they
so
would.
loud in there. It'd be so loud. I think that was a one-time thing, so I think they're moving again. But I thought that was pretty funny. It would have been funny to watch Wyoming fans. They would never get picked for that bowl because they would sell it out. So,
but yeah, it is in the rotation. That's one that we may be able to get into. So unlike the Pop-Tarts Bowl, where that's not something that we're ever going to see Wyoming in.
Yeah.
There is a chance for the Frisco Bowl.
We'll have to see how those bowls shake out with the split finally, right? So who knows? Because remember, and this was a big criticism I had, was like half of our bowls were played at Mountain West teams, and most of those guys have moved to a different conference except for New Mexico. So the Mountain West probably has some. They're going to have some scrambling to do.
Yeah,
to find bowls for everybody.
Well, do we care about the Potato Bowl?
No, I mean I didn't want to play there, even though
Hawaii Bowl can stay, the New Mexico Bowl can stay.
The last time we saw Josh Allen
fun.
play in the Brown and Gold was in the Potato Bowl, unfortunately. So
stupid trick play. God damn it, Brett Vegan.
I'm honestly shocked that the Holiday Bowl doesn't have a sponsor. That's a bowl game that's been around for a long time. It's well respected, and shame on whoever is torpedoing that one.
They don't have Qualcomm Stadium anymore, man.
Yeah,
I remember a Snapdragon Stadium, but it's kind of a dump. It's brand new.
Well, I mean, it's nice, but it only seats 23,000 people.
It's terrible. It was terrible design. Nobody cares about football in the San Diego area. Just with the Chargers gone, there's not a reason for it anymore. So
yeah, and that has a lot to do with it, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. So I mean, maybe it gets a sponsor because it gets you the LA market. So we'll see.
Yeah, but I think you're going to see more and more bowls going out of business. The playoffs going to expand, and I think eventually what you'll probably see, because it's the only way they're going to make money, is you're going to see some type of group of 5 playoff. Also on this note, it's been reported here, but not nationally, that Denver is getting a Mountain West bowl game for this coming season. There's going to be a bowl game in Denver.
That'd be good.
I don't know any of the details of when it's going to be, what the sponsor is, but widely reported here that Denver is getting a bowl game, and the Mountain West will be in that rotation.
Hey, man, I'm on board with the Mile High Bowl.
Yeah, why not? Call it the Mile High Bowl, play it there.
Oh, man, I wish Hooters Airlines was still around, too, to be a co-sponsor.
It's going to be like Frontier or something
and
like that.
think if Wyoming made it to the Denver Bowl. I mean, we'd get 30,000, 40,000 people showing up.
Oh yeah.
There's that many Wyoming alums in Denver.
Denver, exactly. So
yeah,
we'll see.
I wish they would bring the Mountain West basketball tournament back to Denver like they did for 2 years or whatever.
No, nobody went. That was terrible. It was flat out awful.
Well, sorry, Bryan. We don't all like to party.
Yeah, some people actually there to watch basketball.
Apparently, nobody liked it. The attendance was pathetic when they had it in Denver.
Was it? Well, that makes sense. You got to make money.
Schaefer's got it. Yes, the Chiba Hut Mile High Bowl. Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome.
The Chiba Hut. There's some good stuff. So yeah. It wasn't good. It wasn't a good atmosphere. I mean, it was a good trip for everybody, right? But not a lot of people went. So
yeah. Well, I wasn't there for it. If you guys are telling me it sucks, then Vegas draws a better
Bryan
crowd.
and I both went, obviously. It's not great. Oh, what? Luke is saying that no, the bowl is gone.
No.
Oh, he's saying that they don't have a title sponsor. Okay. Not surprising, right? It's hard out there. Hard out there on those streets. Like, why would you invest money in a college football bowl game? You'd have to be pretty dumb. Especially a new one. A lot of money, right? So
Yeah.
and that's the problem too, is the dirty little secret is ESPN basically owns all the non-bowls. So if it wasn't for them,
95% of the bowl games.
Yeah, they own
crazy.
them. ESPN owns the bowl games, people. So again, ESPN is propping things up, and they're going to run out of money eventually because, right, they're losing viewers. They're overpaying for stuff.
Yep.
The future of sports is in some serious trouble because at some point the TV bubble is going to burst. Maybe not for football. I'm sure the NFL and college football will be fine. But I mean, they prop everything else up. So, but the bowl games are,
except for the NCAA tournament. CBS props that up.
Yes.
Well, Luke, they don't have a sponsor either, so we're going to play in the sponsorless bowls.
There we go. Well, until ESPN decides to buy them up. So, I mean, that's the dirty little secret, right? So, again, I don't know. We'll have to do that. It's going to be a long off season once basketball's over here.
It's not. We got spring football starting March 24th, boys.
That's true.
And we've got a roster. It is live on GoWyo.com.
Yeah, I'm the one. I pointed that out today. I looked through it. We'll talk more, but nothing newsworthy. Everybody on the roster was someone we've heard of. The only thing that I saw, and you guys could look and see if I missed something, but was it Nikos Valeris? He's entered the transfer portal twice, and he's been allowed back on the team twice. So that's the only name I saw in there that I didn't expect to see, even though they did say there was a good chance he was going to come back. Really a non-issue. I mean, if he's playing, we're in serious trouble. So, I'm not going to be worried about him being on the roster, but,
Yeah.
Vegas props up the NCAA tournament. Well, I mean, CBS pays the money.
Clint ain't lying, man. That is the biggest betting event in the world. It is insane how much money goes through Vegas for the NCAA tournament.
Oh, I just missed this from Clint. What is this? A tricycle challenge?
Yeah, so when they had the Mountain West tournament down in Denver, one of the halftime challenges they had, you know how they do like the putt for $1 million, or make a layup, a free throw, a 3-pointer, and a half-court shot. They had a tricycle riding challenge, and they gave away tickets to the first and second round in Salt Lake. And apparently Clint was the guy that won it, so that's awesome, man.
There's going to be nothing to overreact about because there's
a couple.
Maybe.
Spring practice, I bet, will be open. He's already said
I don't know. Now listen to
fall
me.
Practices are shut down because we're playing CSU.
With a new offensive coordinator, they're not going to let anything out.
Nah, they'll have public scrimmages for sure.
Oh, maybe, but it's going to be
and they'll let
one
media
play
in
left,
to watch
one play
like
right,
stretching and
middle.
Some of the early practices where they're just going through drills.
They're going to be
before they start installing offenses.
Well,
there's going to be plenty of opportunities for the media.
They might let the media watch practice, but have a thing like, hey, don't report on certain things.
Sure, they could do that too.
I think that helps guys like Cody and Alex. They can still write stories, still talk to the guys because they're not rushed. Like, all right, well, I get this guy for 5 minutes before practice. So we can.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll have spring football to talk about, but again, right? I think I could say for all of us, we're in the no more talking. They should just be quiet and work. Don't make any proclamations, just work. Because nobody wants to hear about how great this player X is going to be. Because every year, especially at the wide receiver room, oh, this guy is going to be all conference, blah, blah, blah. And then he gets like 2 catches. Right?
And that was that was the bowl era too.
Bull did that for 10 years.
Yeah.
Putting his mouth about, oh, this guy's going to be great. And no, I don't want to hear it from anybody. And I think they're smart enough.
What we want to see is win some damn games.
What
we want to see. And, maybe complete a forward pass at a moderate rate.
Yeah, and they will.
Yeah,
There
that
was-
Trey Hughes is good.
Much
So
improved.
in John Michael Gillenborg's combine recap, he made the all-combine team for the NFL. The guy's an athletic freak.
Yeah.
And one of the things they said on it is his athleticism is off the charts. He was hampered by injuries and abysmal quarterback play.
Yeah. And terrible coaching. I'd add into that too.
Yeah, whoever the offensive coordinators every time. Well, J. Mike isn't the only great tight end Wyoming's wasted away. Jackson Marcotte, Nate Weinman.
Oh, sure. Yeah, they have no clue how to use them.
Yeah, so.
Zach,
But now,
Justin Herb, Shea's favorite player.
Dude, that's my focus. Who's going to take over? Who's going to be the Justin Herb, you know? I mean, you got to have those guys. So.
Oh, yeah, we'll see.
I mean, you still got Landon Pace waiting in the wings. This old man was a hell of an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
I bet it taught him some things about run blocking.
Yeah, well, they're going to need it in this offense.
So the only thing I want out of spring football is just to get out of it healthy. But again, I don't want to hear about this player's a beast and blah, 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 blah. They just need to shut up and work. And like we talked about last week, the schedule is soft. If you can't win games this season, you're never going to.
So Shaft's got a really good point, saying that 12-plus guys shouldn't get a touch every game. And that's been a big problem. They've been spreading the ball around way too much when you should be focusing on your top, 5 playmakers on offense.
Exactly. 100%.
So.
Yep. So we'll see.
Yeah. It keeps us something to do, and then the end of April, we'll just be sad until August.
Yeah. Then we'll have a lot of stuff to talk about. But, it'll kind of flow, right? Because we'll have spring football will be for about a month there, 3-4 weeks. And then right after that, overlapping it with the transfer portal and basketball will be open, which will be interesting, as we spoke about.
Yeah, wrestling portal opens April 1st.
Yep, wrestling portal. So, again, there'll be stuff to talk about in April. And then I think May is when it will start to dry up.
Say, as always, after the tournament gets over, I will have a transfer tracker on the board so we can keep track of who's coming and going. So just keep an eye out at WyoNation.com and we'll keep you updated.
That's right. And so we'll wrap up here. But before we do, we'll have Bryan talk about what he has organized for next Monday for those of you who missed the opening of the show.
Yeah, so once again, we've got a Mountain West men's basketball tournament preview show Monday. It is looking like it's going to be 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. I've already got guys lined up for most of the conference. We're still looking for 4 teams or so right now: Nevada, Fresno, Boise, and Air Force. I still got to find some guys for them. But we're going to break it down. We're just going to talk. We're going to talk a basketball tournament. We're going to talk about what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, what matchups we like, who we think is going to win, who we think the dark horses are. It's going to be fun, man. We're going to have, at least 8 different guys on screen just talking about their respective basketball teams and about the tournament. It's going to be a good time. So everybody tune in there.
Yeah. So be sure to check the WyoNation socials for the announcement of that and the link when it goes live. And so, yeah. You know what? We'll let Clint say it. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, hell yeah, Clint.
That's exactly what everybody should do. So please do that.
If you don't want to look at our dumb faces, these are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. You can listen to us if you don't want to watch us. So either way, we appreciate you guys tuning in. We do this for you. We're dudes with jobs. We're not journalists. We're just fans that enjoy watching the pokes. So hopefully you guys like it too. And if there's anything you want us to do, please let us know.
Yep.
For sure. So well said. So, all right, everybody. Thank you for joining us this week. I don't know. Next week, Bryan will be in Vegas. So
yes, we are credentialed media.
We might get a reporter
Mountain West basketball tournament this year.
Yeah, he might, record some stuff on his phone that we might be able to upload to this channel, which would be cool. And Wyoming plays Wednesday afternoon, you said?
Wednesday at noon.
Okay.
It will be in the
so we'll be back. We'll be back a week from today. Bryan won't be there. He'll be out enjoying somewhere.
Yeah,
some
but we can talk
tournament,
about stuff.
Some arena. But we'll be back to break down the Wyoming's first round basketball game.
It's been a minute since we won a game in Vegas. I want to see at least one win. Come on, guys.
So we'll see.
Make it happen.
Yeah. We'll be back a week from now to break that down. So until then, everybody take care. Everybody enjoy your week, and we will see you next time on the WyoNation Roundup.
Go Pokes.